Good morning, gorgeous people. It is Manager Critic Monday, and we're talking today about why is it so hard to be authentic? Well, let's first of all start by sharing. Please comment below. What does it mean for you to be authentic? It's one of these sort of things that people are saying, particularly in the marketing world, particularly if you're a small business owner and you're online. But I think also in relationships, people say just be yourself, be authentic. But what if the who you are, if you're being yourself, isn't who you want to be? Then it's really challenging. So for example, or if you know that you being you isn't going to be welcomed by other people. I've always found this kind of advice, this piece of opinion, really challenging to make sense of and get my head around, until I went through the 3-step process we use with the do, delegate or ditch system, where I go, actually, what does being authentic mean for me? What works for me to be authentic? And what is happening when I'm managing change authentically? And what I've realised is that this authenticity is, I think I took it as being raw and open and just being yourself, like with no filters. But I've realised that isn't who I am. Who I am is somebody who is mindful of other people, who is aware of the impact I have on people. So therefore, if I'm in a bad mood, that might be authentic, but it's not necessarily helpful. And so whilst it might be, for me to be authentic, I have to know before I am open and honest that the other person can hold that space, and 2, they won't be negatively impacted. So I've got friends and family members who are really empathetic people who they worry. If I tell them about something that's not going well in my life, they will worry about it for ages. And actually, by the time I finish talking about it, I've stopped thinking about it, and the talking was all I needed to get rid of it. So me being authentic is me considering what's going to happen to the other people before I speak. Now, I don't always get that right. Sometimes in my own private life, in my personal life, my authenticity is that I'm just irritable and it doesn't work for me. But I want to bring this back to marketing, and the reason where this come about for me. There's 5 of you live, gorgeous people. Thank you for joining me. Because this morning I woke up and my face was, I've got some kind of irritation going on with my skin at the moment, so I look like a beetroot if I didn't have any makeup on. I still got quite a bit of a glow here, and there was a real part of me that was just like, oh, I wish I didn't need to go and do the 9 o'clock video. But the authentic part of me is that when I've committed to do something, I do it, I make that happen. And what's really interesting is now that I've showed up and I've put my makeup on and I'm here talking to you, I feel so much better. So the thing for you, I want to sort of talk about, what is it that actually stops you from being authentic? My thing would be that get clarity of what authentic means to you. So good morning, Val. So authentic for me is about being real and being honest, but it's also about making sure that honesty is helpful. It's no point just, there's no point just being horrible and mean, even though that might be how you're feeling, because it doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve you. Well, it might serve you, because maybe there are some people in the world who like being mean and horrible, but for me as an authentic person, being mean and horrible doesn't serve the people that I love, and it doesn't serve me in the long run because I don't like the impact. Confidence is knowing what my needs are. So being authentic, what I've realized is the hardest bit is actually asking for my needs to be met. And so one of the things I talk about on the Do, Delegate or Ditch Academy is that we first of all have to learn what our needs are, and then we have to have the confidence to ask for it. And one of the challenges with asking for what you need to work at your best, learn at your best, live at your best, is if you've already heard that somebody else, so let's say for example, what you need is absolute quiet in order to be able to concentrate, but you know that your co-worker or your partner or family member, they need music on to be energized and focused on what they're doing. Then if you've already predetermined that what you need is not going to be helpful for somebody else, that's usually when people who are sensitive to conflict or rejection will often not ask for their needs to be met. And so that's the bit I've struggled with for a long time. And what I've realized is that the more clarity I get about what I need to work and live at my best, the more I can do it as part of the setup. So rather than So I ask before I need it, rather than during, when I'm at the end of my tether, like, oh my god, I can't concentrate, it's too noisy in this house. And so the way that you ask isn't particularly helpful, it isn't particularly kind, it's a bit mean, and therefore it tends to come from a place of drama or contempt, and generally it doesn't get you what you want. So you may be asking for what you need, but not in a way that's going to be heard and understood by the other people. And so today I want to share with you that what we use quite a lot in the Academy is the Clean Setup, which was developed by Caitlin Walker. If you haven't read her book yet, it's From Contempt to Curiosity, Creating the Conditions for Collaboration. And the Clean Setup is 3 questions, and I'll pop them in the post when I log off. Is first of all, asking yourself what you'd like to have happen, so having clarity of what you want. Thinking about how you need to be, so taking responsibility for your own attitude, mindset, thought processes, and then thinking about what kind of resource or support you need. So if you can tell people in advance, actually I need 90 minutes a day where I have complete quiet, and I understand that you need music, how can we both have what we want? Having those conversations beforehand, when you're not in drama, when you're not stressed, when you're not feeling critical of yourself or other people, it's much easier to be authentic. So that's the first thing. However, things do change, and so the thing I'm struggling with at the moment from an authenticity point of view is consistency. So what I've realised is that people will tell you what you need to do to be consistent in business or to be a great parent, whatever it might be. But then we change, don't we? So like at the moment, what I've realised is that Mondays, I've done Motivational Monday, probably because it rhymed, and I liked Motivational Monday. But Mondays usually are my day for doing a lot of introverted work, a lot of introverted thinking. So actually, if I was getting my needs met, I may not do a video on a Monday, I would do them on Tuesday afternoons or Tuesday evenings. And so one of the challenges we can have is that we start with something that works really well for a period of time, and then either it stops working for us or it stops working for other people, and then we have to change it. And that's when we have to be able to give feedback to ourselves and other people. Or we have to, I say to people, either do more of what you love or learn to love what you have to do. So either I change doing videos on a Monday, or I change the way that I work on a Monday so that it fits with keeping consistent with this. I hope that makes some sense. Let me know if I'm talking a load of twaddle. So things to think about in terms of being authentic. What does authentic mean to you? How do you need to be authentic? And what kind of resource or support do you need? And then thinking about what would need to happen for you to ask for that support. And my thing about being authentic is it's great that if we need things and we have to ask for help, but we have to think about whether we're coming from a place of contempt of the other person, we're criticizing them for being themselves, they're being authentic, but it's annoying us. We have to think about whether we're coming from a place of drama. And so if we want our communications to land, we have to come from that place of curiosity and chat with the purpose of finding out how we can collaborate, how we can both get what we want. And that only comes, I think, over time and over practice, where you completely feed back to each other what's working, what's not working, and what could work better. Because we are, as a system, constantly changing, and what we need and what we want may be different today than it is tomorrow, and therefore updating that system on a regular basis is important. So I'd love to know, what do you need in order to, what's authentic mean to you? What would we hear and see when you're being authentic? And what works about authentic for you? I'd love to know your takes on authentic, because it's something that's bandied around quite a lot in the business world, and I was just interested today, I was fascinated with myself, noticing that if I showed up with my bright red face, no makeup on, is that authentic? But then I realised that who I am is somebody that can switch and go, right, okay, let's get in there, you've made a commitment, get on with it, girl, and do it. And I may well log off right now and take my makeup off because my skin isn't particularly great at the moment, and I don't think it's going to be great for it to have loads of stuff on it. But this is my commitment, that is who I am, is once I make a commitment to do something, I do it. And then I work out how to manage myself around that. Hope that's useful today. See you all soon. Have a great week.